Hello engineers, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting tutorial. My name is Dele from Terraform Workspaces. Today I'll be talking about Terraform Workspaces. With Workspaces, I'll be showing you how to use the same Terraform code, which is infrastructure's code, how to use the same configuration file to deploy infrastructure into different environments. In the workplace, we usually have different environments. We have the production, staging, development, testing. Now, by workspaces, we can create like logical separations in our infrastructure, and through variable files, we can use the same Terraform code to deploy different versions of our infrastructure into different environments. Brilliant. So sit back, relax, and I will explain to you the concept of Terraform Workspaces. Thank you. Okay, so today's tutorial is going to be how to use Terraform in multi-environments. Okay, so what's our plan today? This is our plan for today. Okay, so first of all, we're going to, this is a part 2 of the first part where we converted the code into modules. So now we need to convert our local backend to a remote backend, which means we shall be using an S3 bucket and DynamoDB as a locking mechanism for our remote backend. Now I have a video already previously on our channel. The video explains how to set up a remote backend. Okay, for this tutorial, it's already set up. We set up a remote backend already. So if you want to see how to set it up, please refer to the previous video. It's called setting up S3. How to set up an S3 remote backend. You will see it. Use that for this purpose. Okay, so we'll set up the remote backend first of all. So we shall alter the previous code we used in the last tutorial. And then we shall create 3 workspaces. I'll show you how to do this. We shall do one for production, one for staging, and one for development. Okay, which are the 3 environments we're using in this use case. Okay, so we shall also edit our existing EC2 code, the EC2 module. We shall go to the EC2 resource. We shall edit it because we want to tag our instances with the name of the workspace, the environment, so that way we can differentiate our instances in the console. Okay, now we can use the terraform.workspace, will allow us to retrieve the current workspace. Okay, so we shall use this, we shall append this to the name in our tags for our instances. That way we can identify which workspace each instance belongs to in the console. Okay, so that's the third thing we need to do. After we have done the tagging, then we shall go on to the next steps. So far, remember, we convert our local backend to remote backend. We create 3 workspaces, and then we edit our current configuration and use Terraform Workspace to tag each instance. Now we shall create 3 different tfvars files, 3 different files. Each one will be for each workspace. Okay, so that way we can set the parameters, the variables we want to use to build infrastructure for each workspace. So remember, the tfvars file will be like a variable, so where we shall input the variable values we need when we're running our apply in our code. So we're using just one configuration, but we have a tfvars file for each environment where we can change the values of each variable and build a different version for every environment, as needed. So we shall create our infrastructure for each environment by running apply. But to do this, we shall need to tell Terraform which of the tfvars files, which of the variable input files we shall be using for our application to provision our infrastructure. So those are the 5 things we need to do. So create, we shall convert our local backend to a remote backend, which we need to do. Create 3 workspaces, edit our existing configuration for EC2, so we can have we can tag our instances. Then we can create the tfvars files, set the inputs, and then we're good to go. So previously, you can see we had 2 models, one for our EC2, one for VPC. This is the previous configuration we had, yeah. And then we call these models from our main.tf. So that's the VPC model there, and the content of models. The content, that's the EC2 model above, and that's the main.tf. Yes, here we call both models. So this is how they capture the models. So that's how we previously had refactored our Terraform code into models. Okay. But now we're making changes. As I said, the first change is remote backend. We want to convert our backend from local to remote. So this is the local one. So we need to add another block and select S3 as our remote backend. So I'm going to put the code in here. And I've already set up the S3 buckets and a table already. So these are the names that I use for them. So DevOps on Cut remote backend was the bucket name, and DevOps on Cut Terraform login was the DynamoDB table name. So make sure you have them set up in AWS before you do this part. Okay, so once we initialize this Terraform init, Terraform will now know that it needs to use the backend we have stated, the remote backend, rather than the local one. So let's run a Terraform init here. Terraform init. And initialize to download the provider plugins. It will initialize the backend. In this case, that's doing that. Yes. It initialize any models we need to initialize. You see, it's configured the backend, and it will now use this backend unless the backend changes. Brilliant. Yes, so that has been initialized. We've done that. Okay. So first thing done, we have changed the backend to remote. Well, let's test this. We shall test this. Let's try and apply our configuration as it is now to see if it will actually work and nothing is broken using the new backend. So tap my apply to approve to avoid the prompt of answering yes or no. Acquiring the state lock, because now the lock it's remote locking now. So it does this to prevent anybody else. So once the state is locked, nobody else can actually access that remote state file until the lock is released. Okay, plans to provision 8 things there. So let's just see. I'll leave this to run its course to make sure it works, and also to let you know how long this actually takes. So there we're going. It's building. It's creating the instance. I can see that. It's creating the route table. You can see creating the subnet, the public subnet. That's complete. It's completed the route as well. That's the public route, and the route table association. That's been done as well. Yes, it's creating the instances. By default, we are going to create 2 instances. So those have been, yes, apply complete, which is added. Okay, that's fine. So we have confirmed here that the backend is working. Okay, so we shall destroy this, and then let's Terraform destroy. Let's auto approve as well, just to avoid the break of the prompt. And let's destroy. Now, once this is destroyed, we shall now alter, edit our configuration code to use workspaces. Okay, so we have completed the first task, which is set up the remote backend. Now it's destroying our configuration. That's the power of Terraform. Once you write your infrastructure as code, then you can destroy as code too, and you can recreate this. You can recreate the exact configuration, using the same file. That's the beauty of infrastructure as code. Yeah, so let's just wait a little bit. It's destroying. Destroyed the internet gateway. Yes, the route table has been destroyed. It's getting there. Yes. It's destroying the instances now. So destroying instances. Okay, and anytime from now, the destroy should be completed. Yes, you can see this. It has released state lock. That means it's finished and it's open again for another person to connect to. Okay, so now let's get to workspaces. So Terraform Workspace, new. Let's create the first one, production. We're creating our workspaces now. So we've created the one for production. Hold on. It's taking its time, yes. So let's create another one again. The command is Terraform Workspace new and the workspace name. Terraform Workspace new. We have to do the staging and then development. So let's do staging here. We use staging. Yes, that's complete as well. And now let's now do Terraform Workspace new development. That'll be a third and final environment workspace. Terraform Workspace new development. Yes, so now we have our 3 workspaces. We can use Terraform Workspace lists to list our workspaces, and it will show us the current one. Okay, so we have 3 workspaces created now. Terraform Workspace list will show us we have a default one and 3 others, so there should be 4. The defaults and the 3 others. Yes, so there's default, development, which we're in now, production and staging. Okay. Now to move around, we need to use the select keyword to move around. So we can do Terraform Workspace select and the workspace name to go into that workspace. Now, remember we have a tfvars file through which previously we've inputted our variables from. Now we shall create a tfvars file now for each environment. Okay, so we shall go into the okay, here, first of all, let's look at the local. We want to tag our second thing was to tag our EC2. So we shall use the locals block. You can see, and also we use local dot workspace name to retrieve the value of the workspace. So the terraform.workspace will return the current workspace. And we can now use the local.workspace to get the value and append it to our EC2 instance. Yeah. That way, each EC2 instance would have the name of its environment, which workspace appended to it. That way, we can identify which workspace each instance belongs to in the console or anywhere else we list our instances. Okay. So we've used the locals block for this. Let's save this. So that's locals, you can see. Yeah, we save the value into workspace name and reference it below in our name tags. Okay, so next, you can see we need different requirements for each environment. Production needs 2 instances and T2 medium. Staging needs 2 instances, T2 micro, and development needs 1 instance T2 micro. So we shall be using different instances and different sizes, type of instances, and different numbers for the different environments. So let's create the tfvars file, the variable files. So touch and variable file names. We're creating 3 files. .tfvars files, where we'll set these values, which will be used to build the infrastructure for each environment. Okay. Now, remember we have a terraform.tfvars we used previously in the previous, which contains the values we used back then. So we just need to copy that and then change the values for each environment. Let's go into our terraform.tfvars. There, the previous one there, yes. And here we can see the variables we can set. So let's just copy this into the new tfvars files for each environment, and we can, from here, we can change these values to create a different version of our infrastructure. So we shall start with so you can see we need 2 instances of T2 medium for production, 2 instances T2 microsource production, and we need 2 instances of T2 medium. So instance EC2 count 2, instance type T2 medium. Okay, so this is what we shall build for production. Yeah. Then staging needs 2 instances of T2 micro type. Okay, not T2 medium like the other one. So we'll paste that in staging. It needs 2 instances, so EC2 counts as 2, we'll leave it as 2. Instance type T2 micro, that's fine. We'll save this. And then for the development, let's check development now. The requirements of development. Development needs 1 instance of type T2 micro, just 1 instance. So let's go back there to the tfvars file for development. And the EC2 count will just be 1. Instance type is T2 micro, so we can leave as it is. Save. So now we shall create 3 different versions of infrastructure, which actually vary, slightly varying, and in each workspace, for each environment. Okay. So now that's all done. Let's show right now we're in production. The command workspace show will tell us where we are. So let's apply for production. So we have to use the var dash file to refer to the tfvars file we're using. So that's dash var file is equal to production.tfvars. It will tell Terraform when you're applying, use the values in that file. So now we're applying and building that for production. So the same configuration, but just different tfvars files. And now we're building infrastructure. There. So you see that's the beauty of Terraform and the beauty of using Terraform Workspaces. So we have just one configuration that has a VPC module, an EC2 module, but then we're using a variable file to create different versions of this configuration of our infrastructure. Sorry, just by entering different parameters, different values to the parameters we have there, the variable parameters. Okay, so it's creating for production. It will create 2 instances for production of type T2 medium. So it's going to build that version for production. When that is done, we shall go on and do that for staging. For staging, we need 2 instances too, but this time rather than use T2 medium, it will use T2 micro, which is a smaller size, because it's not production, so we don't really need that much compute power. Apply complete, 8 resources added, fine. So now we have built the instances, the infrastructure for production. We shall check later. Let's build everything first, and then we'll see what we built. So Terraform workspace, select staging. Let's go to staging and build staging. Okay. Should go Terraform apply, auto approve, -var -file equals to staging.tfvars. Okay. So this you can see. So we're just going to change this to staging. So it's going to look into this file for the parameters, and let's go. So now it's going to create 2 instances in staging, but it's going to be of type T2 micro and not T2 medium like it did for production. Okay. So you see the wonder? One configuration file, just different variable inputs, and we can use it in different environments. Okay, so that's been building for staging. So while it's building, the last one will be for dev. Because for dev, we're just trying out different things, and we're not exactly, it's not production or staging. So we probably need less compute for dev. So for dev, we shall use only one EC2, only one, or like 2 of the previous ones, one EC2 and one T2 micro of T2 micro. So it'll just be one small instance. Apply complete. We have built infrastructure for production and staging. Let's clear this, and now let's build the last one, which will be for development. Okay. So Terraform Workspace. Let's select development. Make sure we're in the right place. Okay. And now we shall do this again. And yes, we're going to go there. Okay. Clear, apply. Let's change this to development. Yes. And we shall apply this. Now we shall be having just one EC2 instance of type T2 micro. Okay, so let's do that now. Acquiring state lock. Yes. And it will start building in a minute. This couldn't have been done without using workspaces. Okay, so it's going to build at 7. Yeah, it's because it's just one instance on like 2 in the previous environments, 2 environments. So it's building, don't forget each one has a VPC, has a networking, has a public subnets, and an instance or 2 in the public subnets, depending on what we set in the tfvars files. So now it's building for the development environment, workspace. This shouldn't take that long because it's one instance, unlike the others are 2. So this should be slightly shorter. It's creating the instance right now. It's creating. I think it's done now. Yes, apply complete. Resources 7 added. So now we have created our 3 infrastructure for 3 different environments. Let's go to the console and see. That should be 5 things. 5 instances, because there were 2 staging, 2 production, 1 development, and they've been tagged. Remember, they've been tagged, so we know where each one is from. So let's check our instances and see if this was successful. Okay, brilliant. So you can see production, the name. There are 2 productions, and look at the type. You can see it's T2 medium. There are 2 for staging, you can see also tagged, 2 for T2 micro, and there's 1 for development, you can see as well, which is of type 1 T2 micro. So we have created 5 instances in 3 different environments. Brilliant. So ladies and gentlemen, so you can see how it is. Now let's go to S3 and see what has happened in the backend. So it's been successful. We have created 3. Okay, so let's go to our S3 bucket. There it is. Remember the name. We'll go into it. Let's just see how it's handled. Remember, Terraform works with state files. So you can see there's an env folder there. Inside that, it's created a new folder for each environment. You see, it has created a folder for production, staging, and development. And in each of these folders, it will have the states file for each one. So it actually creates a state file for each environment in our bucket. So that way it manages its state file separately. How brilliant. So we have the 3 state files, 1 configuration, and 1 backend. Brilliant. So we have, ladies and gentlemen, last thing, don't forget to destroy. You need to destroy your infrastructure because it will cost a little money. We've got 5 instances and you're charged for this. So let's where we now. We're in development. Okay, I see. Okay. So now let's do Terraform destroy. Let's destroy development first. So also approve. We need to state the environment while destroying. So also approve var file is equal to development.tfvars. Yes. The same way you have to destroy for each environment that way. Because we're not it's not live production, we don't want to keep this. It will cost us money to keep it. So destroy, please. So it's destroying infrastructure for development now. After this, we shall destroy infrastructure for the 2 other environments, 2 other workspaces. Referencing the variable files for each one while doing so. So 7 to destroy. There it is. Yes. Destroying. It's a very important part when you're learning. Don't destroy. AWS will charge you, especially for the production instances which were T2 medium. They cost a lot more than others, more than the micro. The micro will be free if you destroy them on time. Still destroying. Yes. Let's go on and destroy another one. Let's change workspace. Select. Let's go to staging. And then run Terraform destroy in staging, referencing the staging.tfvars file. Let's change this to staging. Yes. And let's run this to destroy. Yes. Running this now. It is destroying. Yes. After this, we shall do the final destruction, which will be for production. You can see it's 8 to destroy, 8 resources to destroy. Because we have the VPC, we have the internet gateway, we have the public subnets, we have the route table, we have the route table association. Yeah, we do have some resources to destroy, and then 2 instances. In this case, yes, 2 EC2 instances, but just 1 in development. Okay, destroyed. So we destroyed 2. The last one now is development. We need to destroy development now. No, production now. So let's select Terraform Workspace, select production. Yeah, we need to go into let's clear this off first of all, so we can see what we're doing. Terraform Workspace, let's select then production. Okay, let's go there, and once in, we can run Terraform destroy, auto approve, and then let's change the variable file to production.tfvars. Production, yes. Now destroying the last one, production. Should be 8 resources there. Acquired state lock. Yes, so the last set are being destroyed now. Yes, being destroyed. So it's been destroyed now. Yes, anytime from now we shall have destroyed all the infrastructure in all the 3 workspaces. So I hope you learned a lot from this tutorial, because now you know how to use workspaces. Now, if you don't understand the first part, remember it's a continuation of the first part, which was Terraform models. So you can go and watch the first the previous tutorial, how to refactor Terraform models, and then come back and watch this. Okay, destroy complete, resources 8 destroyed. So we have destroyed all our resources in the 3 environments. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. So now you know how to deploy infrastructure using the same configuration in different environments using Terraform Workspaces. So thanks for watching. It's been fun making this video. Please go and support it, because if you support, I'll be able to make more of these videos. You can do this by subscribing if you haven't already, share, like, and comment. Thank you, and I'll see you again at the next tutorial. Thank you. Daily DevOps Uncut. Thanks.